Hi guys, so it is still May 8th. It is almost 7 o'clock. It is 6:58. 76 degrees outside. I am in desperate need to stop and get gas. At this time of night, I normally do not jump on here. I normally don't give you guys any type of update. And you will see none of my food that I ate today. I got to work today. It was Teacher Appreciation Day. There was some food in the teacher's lounge. And about 5 minutes after I got back to my room, I went into the teacher's lounge and kind of looked at the food. I didn't really want anything. And when I got back to my room, my phone was ringing. And it was Norm. And the only words I heard was hospital, ER, pain. Then whoever was around him took the phone away and put it down. And then I could hear other things happening. So I was able to figure out which hospital he was in. And jumped in my car, left my job, and immediately went to that hospital. So the last couple of days, Norm has been having chest pain, and in his assessment, it was simple, like angina, kind of like, you know, he would take a couple of Tums, it would feel better for a bit, and then things would get worse again. Today he was supposed to be driving to Ocean City, which is a 3-hour drive. He got about 30 minutes into his drive, and the pain was so bad he couldn't see. He was, you know, he was feeling like he was going to pass out. It was really bad, and then he pulled over, and then he ended up going to one hospital. He drove himself to the hospital instead of calling 911, which he should have. He made it to the doors of the ER, or the doors of the hospital, which I think was like a visitor center, and basically started to go down, and the woman caught him. An ICU nurse caught him and took him in to the emergency room. They took him in the emergency room. They stabilized him. They basically said that he couldn't help him where he was. They needed him to go to a cardiac hospital, and that he was having a massive heart attack. When they transported him, what they were supposed to do was transport him, get him over there, get him set up, and then take him in to basically the cath lab and find out whether he needed a stent. But they were thinking it was probably worse than that. When he got into the ambulance, well, I can't say ambulance, sorry. When he got in there, he coded. The heart attack got worse, even though they had been pumping anti-heart attack medicine into him. And as soon as they got him to the hospital, they took him into the cath lab immediately. There was an emergency opening for him, and he went in, and they found out that 100% of his one artery was completely blocked. He is 80% blocked on another artery and 50 to 60 on the third. The problem is the one that is 80% is very long. It's apparently the long one, whatever. I don't know enough about hearts to tell you, but it's the long one. And they're really worried about putting a stent in the long one. So they're thinking that because he has had so many tests today, and they didn't want to put the dye into him again, whatever that dye is, that they're going to wait until Thursday. They're going to go in again and the probability is bypass. But minimum, there will be another stent going in on Thursday. I called my kids, told my kids what was going on. Danny has a test at 8 o'clock tonight that she needs to go take, so she's going to do that. They all came. Amber and Carly went out to look at prom dresses when they left. We got him all settled. He was good. They're keeping him obviously till Thursday when they do the second procedure, and then probably after that as well. He does have a trip planned, not this coming weekend, which is in a couple of days, but the following weekend he's supposed to fly. And we're hoping that he can still get to do that. If it's bypass, he probably can't. If it's a stent, he may be able to. He will be on all kinds of medication for a while. The doctor, excuse me, came out to talk to me and the girls, and you know, he did one of those things where he wouldn't talk to us in the waiting room. He took us into the family counseling room, and he told us that the heart attack that he had was called a widowmaker, and the average size person, and you guys have all seen Norm, he's 6'5", you know, over 300 pounds. The average person, this would have killed them 90% of the time. He has been having these pains for a couple of days, although he had none of the other symptoms. He didn't have jaw pain, he didn't have arm pain. He was able to relieve his symptoms by moving around, you know, those type of things. The fact that he's been in kind of coronary distress for days, and I couldn't convince him to go to the hospital this time. He's his second heart attack. His first one was a heart infarction. It didn't get all the way to attack because as soon as he told me his arm was tingly, we took him and he was able to get in. And that one on the next day he was out. Well, it should have been 2 days, but he kind of forced them to let him go the first day. This one, however, I think it rocked him a little bit. The fact that, you know, when the nurses come in and the caregivers come in, you know, a lot of times they don't give you a whole lot of information, you know, even when they're caring for you. Like, for example, you know, when I had my heart surgery, it was a routine procedure, which it was, you know, but they said that a lot, like, you know, you're going to be fine, and this is what's going to happen, and blah, 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 and it was no big deal. They keep coming into him and explaining to him how serious this really was, how lucky he really was, how this should be a wake-up call. They keep calling it the widowmaker, how 90% of the people couldn't have handled the pain he was in. For Norm has a threshold of pain that is ridiculous. However, this time, they asked him what his pain level was, and he said it was a 10. And 10, of course, being the worst pain he's ever felt. Norm is never a 10. Never. So the fact that he was a 10 this time was scary. And then when they were giving him the meds, he was only getting down to a 7 in pain. And then he would be that way for a couple of minutes, like literally a couple of minutes, and then shoot right back up to a 10. So they were pretty darn worried about his pain. And again, for Norm to say 10 is he's a proud man, doesn't like to admit that has pain. And for him to say a 10 is scary. So it was scary for all of us, but he's in the right place. the hospital he's in is the best in Maryland for heart attacks. And so yeah, I had Chipotle today, did as best I could. Still have 9 points left for dinner, but I decided that, you know, points don't really count when your husband tries to die. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm feeling very lucky that he got to where he is as quickly as he did. I'm angry with him for not doing it quicker. But I'm very glad that he was able to get where he needed to be so quickly. So I'm pulling in right now to get some gas to go home for a little bit, and then go back tomorrow. Hi guys. So it's Wednesday. I'm gonna put this video together with yesterday's video, which I know was kind of long, and if you guys only follow me because of Weight Watchers, feel free to skip this video. But I know a lot of you who follow me and who I follow have become friends, and I know that a lot of you care about Norm and you ask about Norm, and I just wanted to give you an update. Last night he had a couple of episodes. I'm really sorry about the lighting. It's really dark. It's actually 8:45, but it's probably better that it's dark because my eyes are puffy and you know, no makeup, so it's probably better to be coming at you in the dark. But anyway, last night he had a couple of episodes where he there was arrhythmias, and one was bad enough that they were gonna bring in the paddles, although he slept through it, and at one point kind of turned himself or did something, and it stopped. So it's, you know, he felt like he had a great night. Talking to him today, he said he feels fabulous. He is going through nicotine withdrawal right now, because clearly he has to stop smoking, and his doctor that did the surgery yesterday said to him today, in no uncertain terms, if you have another cigarette, it will kill you. And, you know, Norm, being hard-headed, kind of did the, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to give it up cold turkey, and I'm going to have to, you know, wean myself off. And the doctor said, you're not understanding me. If you were to stand up right now, go outside and put a cigarette in your mouth and light it, you will be on my table within 20 minutes because it will kill you. You are done smoking. There will not be another one in your mouth. That scares me because I know Norm. I've been with Norm for 26 years, and he has tried multiple times to quit smoking. Multiple. Like, he doesn't want to smoke. You know, he's not just, you know, trying to be a jerk and like, I'm going to smoke if I want to. We'll get to that in a minute. He has tried multiple times to quit smoking, and he has been unsuccessful. He actually went 2 years once, and then came back to it. Like, he is really, really addicted to it. They've offered him patches, but last time he did a patch, it really made him feel bad. It really, you know, made him nauseous. It made him jittery. It made him like crazy. Like, he just felt like he couldn't stand still. And he smokes about a pack a day, or smoked about a pack a day. The other part of it was his eating. So, you know, he's a terrible eater. He eats junk, and he eats fat, and he eats everything, and he eats mass volume of food. And that's another thing that's got to stop. The salt and the fat. And they're going to put him on a heart healthy diet, and he's going to hate it. So today, there was a little bit of uproar because he wanted a sandwich and he wanted French fries with it. And I asked, you know, one of the kids to get it and bring it to him. And of course, the one I asked all of them in a group chat, and one of them said, no, I'm not doing that. That's not what he's supposed to be eating. Now is not what he should, blah, blah, blah. And then one of the other ones got mad and said, you know, you can't ask him to give up everything. And so now they're fighting amongst themselves. And I know it's out of fear and I know it's out of frustration. But I love my girls, and I'm hoping they're going to figure this out, because I can't deal with their fear and frustration right now. I got to deal with my own, and they're adults, and they're going to have to work this out. If they want to come to me and say, I'm worried about Dad, and I'm worried about what he's going through, and talk to me and whatever, I got them. But the two of them fighting, they're going to have to deal with this. I can't right now. But anyway, he did have the sandwich. He did not have the fries. The doctor did say today, you know, he could stand a little bit of salt today, not much, because he hadn't had anything with salt. But that right now it's baby steps when it comes to the food. And that's because the most important part right now is the cigarettes. He's got to give up smoking. So he has now not had a cigarette for 24 hours. Little more than 24 hours, because he had the heart attack yesterday at about 8 a.m. He hasn't had one since. So about 7:30 yesterday morning was his last cigarette. So 7:30 this morning was 24. 7:30 tomorrow, which of course he's not getting one tonight, will be 48. And those are supposed to be the toughest too, is the first 48. I know he doesn't have any with him tonight. But he wanted out today. He wanted to go home, and my biggest fear was that he'd go home and want to smoke. And I know that there are cigarettes in his car. And so what I'm doing right now actually is, when I get home, which I'm almost there, when I get home, I am going to go in his car and take his cigarettes out. Now my biggest fear, not my biggest fear, but Norm has always said to me, when he quits, he needs to have one cigarette around, because if he doesn't, he gets jittery. So I don't know whether to leave him one or not. So I guess I'm not going to throw them away, because it's not my mind to throw. I don't know how to just explain this. This is Norm's journey. And as much as I love him and want to take these cigarettes and just crush them, he is the type of proud, dumb man who will go and get them, go and buy another pack just to, you know, because I can, kind of deal, you know. So I am going to take them and keep them in the house, hidden. And if he asks, like, where are they, because I need to be the one to throw them away or whatever it is, and he does dumb stuff like that, then I'll give them to him. You know, he's 55 years old. I can't make him do anything. I'm really sorry about the rambling of this and the emotion of this, but it's very raw for me right now. And I appreciate everybody's watching this until the end. So tomorrow, 8 a.m., he will have surgery, a cath scope, and it will decide whether he is going to get a stent right then, maybe even two, or if they will have to schedule him for bypass surgery. If it is bad enough, they will do bypass surgery in a couple of days. If it can wait, they will probably do bypass in the next 2 weeks. He is supposed to go visit his grandson next weekend. He has already been told that even with the stent he just had, he should not be doing that. And if he has bypass, clearly he's not going to do it. But with the stent, he shouldn't. I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep him from doing it. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. I'm sorry for the rawness of it. And then I will keep you guys posted tomorrow for everything we know. Have a great night.